So I don't know if you guys have ever used Facebook Marketplace, but I had a microphone that was just collecting a lot of dust, and I decided to sell it. The guys who wound up picking it up live here in Nashville. They came over, and when they showed up, they told me that they'd actually seen the channel and they'd seen these videos, which is crazy. But they also told me that they had a studio. Long story short, here we are making a video about it. So Michael and Alex are both Berkeley grads here in Nashville. They took the spot that they're living in and turned it into a crazy cool, super unique home studio. Alex, Michael, thank you guys for having me out. All their links down in the description. You can find them on Instagram. If you guys want to, if you're in Nashville and you want to book some time, hit them up. So yeah, super nice guys. Thank you for having me over. And amazingly, if you didn't notice, or maybe you have never even seen this channel before, we just hit 40,000 subscribers. So great job. Thank you guys for subscribing to the channel and smashing the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you. If you guys want to support the channel, hit up ANDREWMASTERSmusic.com. You can book Zoom consultations where we can talk about literally anything, you know, home studio stuff, recording. It's whatever you guys want. ANDREWMASTERSmusic.com. You can also book me for mixing and remote drumming. The studio is called The Ark, and you'll see here in just a second. Let's go check it out. This place looks like a crazy Pirates of the Caribbean man cave boutique studio. You guys have lived here for how long?
We've been here for about a year plus. So.
Wow. So when did you guys start on this project?
We basically started it, about a year ago. It took about 8 months to get up and running.
Okay, so what was and wasn't here?
This room in its entirety was pretty much just an empty vessel. It was like concrete, and then the tinfoil kind of roof thing going on. I moved in and tore it down.
It was like insulation kind of
material? It was like that foil stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just not looking too hot. And I don't know, I guess I fantasized about always having a studio, and so I used to come down here and just sit in the emptiness, and I was like, I'm just gonna make this one day. This went through a lot of phases. So initial phase was the concrete. So I wanted to use this front half of the room, and the issue though was that it was on like a 6-inch slope. And so it took them like 12 weeks, but they got it up. So the next step, we I acquired a bunch of barnwood, put it on the walls, and then this whole idea of the theme started to come to life. And then we really started to think about the acoustics behind it, because whatever we do, we're grad students at Belmont, so we kind of like try to use that to our advantage as much as possible.
Yeah.
We throw in the what frequencies are vital and which ones need to disappear. So yeah, we had this idea to make this soffit. We came across some gear, had the idea to build the soffit so the speakers would be in the wall.
Okay, where did you come across these speakers?
So a lot of people might recognize those. They're the Yuri 813Cs. Basically, like a lot of the studio mains, back in the 80s, had these guys. They were completely blown out. The subwoofer surrounds were completely dry rotted, blown tweeter. One of the woofers was blown, and I just reconed them.
What?
Got them rocking again. I'd almost describe them as like an NS10 big brother.
I mean, I think if you put anything 80s on it, it's gonna show you what it intended to sound like.
You play anything from the 80s on them, and it sounds, wonderful.
Did you have experience building a studio before? Like building soffits like this with those speakers is like pretty impressive for a first time build.
So this whole thing, that question kind of ties into like why we named the studio what we did. So when you came in, you said it looked like a pirate ship. Didn't really think we'd get that, but it's called the Ark because it was kind of like a manifest thing the way it happened. COVID happened, lost my job, got hired to be like a general contractor with somebody, and he was like rebuilding floors and stuff and just doing all these odd jobs, and I was picking up how to use all the tools and like what needed to be used, why. I started to take extra stuff from the ends of the jobs, and they were done. They're like, you got this extra stuff in the trash. I'd be like, let me get it. Stumbled across one of my work partners that had all this barnwood. She hooked us up.
Lay of the land, this is control room, and then you have another space too, right? There's drum room and a booth.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much the whole basement here. This is the main room. And there's 2 other rooms. We'll go check that out after we finish in here. Okay, so where'd you get this piano?
Found on Marketplace, this Rhodes. Got on there, we found this for like $700. I was like, gotta be an issue with that thing.
Yeah.
And we hit up the lady, and she like let us go out to her house the next morning, and they were like, we have this piano too. I was like, cool. Went and played it, and I was like, I love this thing. And she was like, yeah, we'll sell it to you for $600. I was like, what if I buy the piano and the Rhodes for $1,000?
It's kind of cool because it's super full sounding, super beautiful, but it's not It's not quite the flavor that like anybody else has. It's kind of got its own unique thing.
What's the make of it?
Conover.
They were like a direct competitor to Steinway back whenever the whole battle, I guess Cable bought into it. Cable is like one of the leading companies too.
I think it's somewhere around 6 foot long. I mean, it's a baby grand.
So there's a lot of sort of random things that are not instruments.
This is part of the aesthetic thing. So we really like to throw like the personality and our past into it a little bit. I've been in the Army for 10 years.
And there's a lot of cool stuff down here, man. You guys have a lot of cool trinkets.
The whole vibe we're trying to go for with the studio is, rough around the edges. Just nothing in here is perfect, but, it's perfect for us.
Okay, so if anybody's looking for advice, like where to start, if you have kind of this vessel, what do I need to do to make this happen? There's this book, it's like a Bible, and basically it walks you everything through from like doorways to your floor to making a completely floating ceiling. So this ceiling is semi-floating, I'd say. The only potential attach point is along this wall, but we have like weather stripping between it, and that's about as close as it gets. But basically the wall, 5/8 inch drywall. There are a lot of like drywall distributors that will just, you buy it and they include it in the delivery with the material itself, and they literally brought it in here on a forklift. So 5/8 inch drywall, green glue, that's like the acoustic glue. You put 2 sheets of it together and it starts to couple to make like a really, because your battle ultimately in building a studio is you need mass.
Yeah.
You have to get in with mass to counter the low frequencies. Behind this soffit that we have here, this wall extends another 5 feet maybe. Behind it, we've built like prism Helmholtz resonators that go down to 47 hertz. That's what they're like tuned to. I mean, it's just like drywall on drywall on drywall. It's layers into 2 prisms that sit in the corner. So they're fighting exactly where the mode buildup is. And it's the second harmonic of like the big problem mode in the room, which would be like 24 hertz. The way the thing is built, it's like a triangle, and on the front half of the triangle, you have little air gaps. Everything around it is built with just mass. And it really helps because all the neighboring harmonics above it will then chill out.
And each bass trap weighs about 400 pounds.
Oh my God.
They're monsters.
Are you guys from Nashville originally?
Nope.
Where are you from?
I was like born in DC, but I was raised in Alabama.
From like Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Sweet, East Coast. Let's break down this rig that you got here. So you've got a lot of stuff going on. Let's computer DAW interface.
So we're mainly using Pro Tools. We're in the whole Universal Audio realm. We've got the Apollo AP with the Apollo Twin, utilizing that as our remote, for monitor switching and levels and whatnot. We have a patch bay. We've got tie lines basically run throughout the whole studio. And then, we just got the Warm Audio WA412s, the Audient, whatever it is. Yeah, the ASP 800. And most of our drums are going to the Audient and the Warm Audio.
Well, what computer is it?
Okay, so right now, we've just got a MacBook Pro in there, and
2014 MacBook Pro laptop.
Oh, MacBook Pro. Okay,
Yep,
got
yeah.
it, got it, got it.
But Mac Mini's coming next week.
Yeah, we got
Nice.
a Mac Mini on order and a rack for it and everything. So
Speaker time. What do you got?
got the classic NS10s. So our midfields are kind of like our A monitor. So we got some PMC AB2s.
Wow.
And we have 2 Genelec 1092A subwoofers. That rig right there is kind of our, I guess, modern monitors.
The PMC Genelec?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's kind of like our full range, just show off monitors. They sound wonderful. It's a super linear system, and
Can you use the subwoofers with all the speakers?
no, they're just tied to the PMCs right now.
How do
Yeah.
you switch between them? Do you have a switcher?
Just through the Apollo
The
Twin
Twin?
here. Yeah, so we set, default goes to the PMCs, alt goes to the Uris, and then this function button, you can assign that to like do whatever. So we have that to go to the NS10s.
Oh, okay, and then you got some Brystons back there?
Yeah, so we've got a Hafler Transnova powering the NS10s. We've got a Bryston 3B ST powering the Uris, and then a Bryston 8B ST bridged powering the PMCs.
What's up with that tape machine?
So we basically just put that in there to do like tape delays and stuff like that.
The beat pad's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, this is just it's basically just one of those like foot kick pedals. It's just a piece of wood with a piezo pickup in it, so you can do a little bit of like
when
track
you do
it.
MIDI, naturally you're always like, oh, the latency, like it jacks me up, right? So if you want to get like a real-time scratch idea, if you can't beatbox, just like back to pens, pens and hitting it. And so that's how a lot of beats. Yeah, and it's really cool because like one time we were messing with this thing, and I was playing the mix through it while I was recording, and I listened back and I was like, the mix is lo-fi. Of course, this is like a lo-fi effect send.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much what it became now. So it functions as that, and it's just like an audio channel in.
Okay, and then these keys over here.
So yeah, sub 37. Then we got a DW 8000, and I don't know if you're familiar with like
No, not that.
the Yamaha DX7. It's kind of like a classic 80s synth. This is kind of in the same family. Yeah, it's just like a super cool FM synth, and that's just a MIDI controller down low.
Sweet Les Paul.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
double cut, gold top. That's kind of my
Dude,
my
that
baby.
is sexy. All right, and you got the pedals over here. The road's going through the pedals out to the cab.
Because we kind of have like our own like pedal board situations.
Yeah.
Because like my pedal board over there, I typically want to keep that free to take to gigs or whatever. We try to just kind of make like a pedal zone, so we can just run anything through it. We thought about doing like a 1/4-inch patch bay or something like that to keep everything plugged in and to just plug in whatever signal path you want. We can do DI, or we have this 70s Bassman. So
That's awesome.
We usually just record out of the basement and it sounds cool.
Guitars on the wall.
And of course, Alex is a lefty, so we can't share guitars, which is kind of a bummer. But yeah, we just got a J45 Les Paul, obviously Alex's Taylor Strat, and this is a American Strat Plus.
And what's up with all these? Did you guys make these? All of these?
That's a gift from
random-
my mom. She was like, I just got all my friends' corks and made you this. I was like,
Dude,
wow, that's nice.
what's that thing under the Vox amp over there?
That is my grandmother's Grundig. It's a stereo record player.
Is this an AC-15?
Yeah, so it's actually a British AC-15, so it's like Korg era. I think it's like a 97 or something like that. But yeah, so it's still one of the made in the UK Vox amps.
Okay, Mike's on the piano.
Cool, so those are Octava MK012s, I think.
Octava?
Yes. So a cool thing with these is they've been modified by a guy named Michael Jolly. He had a thing called Octava Mod that he did for a while where he took, more affordable mics and kind of hot rodded them to make them sound better.
Then you got the 421 over here on the cab.
Yep. Yeah, 421 on the Vox.
Groove tubes.
Dude, I love that thing.
Is that a tube or a Phantom Power?
It's just
fat.
Yeah.
And then you got is that the 609? What is that on the
Yeah,
Rhodes?
it's just a 609.
Sennheiser 609, shout out Sennheiser. And then Warm Audio 87. So quick background, this is how I met you guys.
Yeah.
I sold you this mic. This thing was in my studio for a bit. Dude, this is so cool. And did you guys make all of the treatment in here as well?
Yep. So we did all the diffusers and absorption. We just kind of try to do like just a blend of diffusion and absorption.
The whole principle behind it is because I feel whenever I've been in plenty of rooms before that people treat in their own house, and I feel like once you get to a certain percentage of how much absorption you've got going, you start to take away what could be the room's character. The application here is to embellish the frequencies that you would care about the most. I care most about mids and low mids of a drum set. So we went after the frequency zone, but in order to do that, your diffusers have to be big and dense. So this is all scrap wood from like construction sites.
Yeah.
And we've just cut them to dimensions using that QRD calculator that's online of how to make these diffusers extend to a frequency that's critical and start at a frequency that's critical. So it starts at like 280, goes up to like 7K. So it just takes those frequencies and shoots them in every which way. And then we tried to, opposite walls, because it's a liver room. Your back wall is diffusion, your front wall is absorption. If we had the luxury, it would be a bigger room, but it's nice, tidy.
So you're doing drums in here. This is essentially a booth, a big booth.
Yeah.
You got the kit. You got another piano in here. Wurlitzer piano.
Yep. Just
pretty nice.
It's just a Wurlitzer upright.
Walk me through the amps over there real quick.
Just got a 73 Silverface Deluxe reverb. Actually, it's kind of funny, typically these are 1x12 cabs. Somebody at some point converted it to a 2x10. I was gonna change it back because I actually have a period correct speaker to throw in there, but it just sounds great as a 2x10. Then just a Mark bass, little Mark head and a bass cab for it, 2x10. But a lot of times when we track bass DI, we'll go direct out of the Mark bass into the warm audio preamps, yeah.
And whose kit is this?
That is mine. Yeah, so it's just a Ludwig Epic. I think they didn't make this kit too long. It's a 24-inch kick. It sounds cool. I don't know. I'm not a drummer.
Dude, 24 is great.
We also have a Sonar Bop kit. So it's more of like a jazz kit with a 18-inch kick drum. So we got like basically two flavors we can do. But, you know, a lot of times when other drummers come in, they'll either bring their whole kit or they'll, you know, replace snare and cymbals and whatnot.
Do you know the plumbing story behind this?
Plumbing? What are you talking about?
Well, the whole debacle of the studio was there was a washer and dryer in the control room at the time.
Okay.
And so we wanted to move it because it kind of looks unprofessional to have a, you know, washer dryer in your studio. Yeah. So we have the shop and we decided to move it, but that means moving the electrical, moving the drainage, moving the plumbing.
Oh, yeah.
And so there was a drain going down here directly that was just exposed PVC, and it was from the kitchen sink. And I was like, goes to the same place. What if I just Y off of it? And so I found all the Nashville coding and everything and how the degree has to be, I think it's like a 12-degree slope. It has to be at least consistently. And the run, though, is through this wall, but we didn't want another exposed pipe, so we made like a shelf kind of thing so it looks...
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's why the shelf is there.
Yeah, it runs the entire length of the room, so...
What's the snare drum under there?
That's just I guess a Tama Black Beauty knockoff. Can't remember what it is. SLP something.
All right. And then microphones.
Yeah, so we just got 57 top, SM7B on hat. We have a Audio-Technica Pro 37R snare bottom right now. Got Sennheiser 604s on toms. Beta 52 kick in. We've got a NS10 driver sub kick out.
What's this thing?
So that's some vintage something.
It's an Ampeg.
It's an Ampeg.
Yeah. It's a harmonica mic, but it's our crotch mics to crush.
Cascade X15 stereo ribbon over, and then we got a Townsend Sphere as just a room. And you know, if you're not familiar with this, it's basically just like a modeling mic with UAD software. It's okay. It sounds pretty good.
I love it.
So how did you get this in the wall? Was this wall not here?
Yeah, we basically just, we just cut out the holes for the panels, mounted them, and then most of the snakes are just kind of running through the rafters on the other side of this wall.
What extensive work you guys did. This is impressive. And then let's see the booth.
It's kind of tight in here.
Oh, tight. So this is literally tight.
I guess we could do vocals in here. We never have, but as of right now, it's kind of just like an ISO booth for this amp.
It does sound good for like a very intimate acoustic.
Yeah, if you want like a super dead sound, you know, this is the place to come do it. Yeah, we just got a 66 Blackface Vibrolux reverb with a 57 and a Royer 121 on it.
So what's that thing on the 57? I think a friend of mine mentioned this to me. This goes around the side of it, right?
Oh yeah, so this is like one of like the vintage Unidyne 57s, and I think all this is like a connection point for like a pop filter, I'm pretty sure.
Is that just added on to the existing door? How big is that thing? Did you make this door?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of insulation, drywall, repeat with wood repeat. It's like I don't even know, it's like 3 layers or something.
But yeah, that just brings us back to the main room.
What are you guys using this space for? Are you guys booking this out?
Yeah, we're trying to get people in. So if you want to come and record, man, hit us up.
Do you guys have a website, or does the studio have
Instagram? I'm not up on the website thing.
We're working on the website.
But you guys have a studio Instagram, or is it your personal ones, or both?
No, we have a studio. _arc_Nashville.
Okay, nice. So I'll put that down in the description if there's anyone here in Nashville. What kind of music you guys like to do?
We've done a few genres. Like he's done punk and stuff.
Nice.
I've done country, like a lot of country. I love pop, so I do pop.
Yeah.
Pop and R&B stuff. Still waiting on my emo people.
Who got the mixtape? One of you guys have a mixtape, right?
I got a mixtape.
What kind of mixtape is it?
It's pop music.
I want to hear it. I'm trying to get these guys to start up a YouTube channel. So if they did, the YouTube channel will be linked down in the description, right underneath that like button. And then their Instagrams, go give them a follow and shoot them a DM if you guys have any questions about this spot or booking some time working with you guys. And otherwise, thank you guys so much for doing this, man. This is a really amazing place you guys made.
Yeah, thanks for coming, man.
Cool. See you guys.